Who says cops won't stop honeymooners on a motorcycle? Besides, how in the world am I going to fit on this thing? I did get those bikes you asked for the other week, Larry. Oh, seriously? They're here? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They've arrived. There you go. One bat pod. And one Akira cycle. You've got to be kidding me. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're taking another look at a Velocitron Speedia 500 figure. And here we have one that goes way back in time for us. We're looking at the G2 version of Road Rocket. Now, Road Rocket was a character introduced in the Generation 2 lineup. In that timeline, Road Rocket was presented as a red rocket, raring to go, always on fire, ninja type character in the series. So he was always itching for a fight, ready to be in one, and had poor social skills among his fellow Autobots. However, we have yet to see what of that representation is going to continue in this new figure, since we've been cheated out of a new animated series. However, the biggest change to it is the fact that Road Rocket is now female. The powers that be at Hasbro decided to, when they introduced this character, they started to refer to Road Rocket in feminine pronouns. So whether the change was done deliberately or intentionally, it's hard to say. But then again, part of it could be deliberate, since Road Rocket shares the mold as the Prime Universe Arcee figure from the Legacy line. They were going through the figures, deciding which ones they could remake for the Velocitron line, and when they decided they would redo Arcee into a different character, Road Rocket was chosen, since in the Generation 2 media, Road Rocket was a motorcycle. Plus, it also helped that with the way the gun is, that it can be attached behind the head with the wheels spread out like that, it invokes a look that's similar to the original G2 appearance. While not perfectly, it does invoke some of it. Just like one of her weapons is meant to invoke the original toy's weapon. So, speaking of which, we'll start taking a look at Road Rocket's accessories. We'll start with her shuriken. Which, of course, that's a throwing star for those of you who aren't fluent in Japanese, or ninja stuff in general. This is meant to represent an accessory that the original toy came with, as it had a glowing ninja star weapon. This just basically uses the shield piece that Arcee came with, molded in a different trans color to make it lighter, but they also took the time to paint the interior molded part so that it looks like a throwing star. And of course, it can be separated into two pieces and then just reattached onto her wrists. And it can serve as a bladed weapon of sorts. So it's nice to see we still get that. And then, of course, right behind her, we'll cover the wheels in a second. She's a little less top-heavy now that we've taken more of the accessories off. But, of course, we should go ahead and point out that the front end of the motorcycle does come off very easily, just like on Arcee. It's not intended to come off, but it does pop off relatively easily. So if you buy this toy loose, do be careful of that. And then, of course, we have the gun, which also doubles as the front wheels to the motorcycle. You can keep it posted, like we said, right here, right behind the head. It makes the toy look like the original a little bit. Or you can just as easily place it in her hands, and she can use it like a weapon. Either way, that's your choice. Now, with all of her accessories out of the way, let's take a look at Road Rocket's articulation. And since she's a retool of Arcee, she will have the same articulation. We can turn her head from side to side, and it will rock up and down a bit, so it is on a bit of a ball joint. Her arms can be raised out to the side, about so far. And, of course, without the motorcycle piece, her arms can rotate 360 degrees, although you still do have to watch out for the handlebars. Her arm can be bent at 90 degrees at the elbow, and she does have a swivel at the bicep. So she does have G.I. Joe-styled battle grip. You unfortunately cannot really twist her at her hip. She's not really designed for that. You can spread her legs apart into a full splits. She does have a bit of a thigh cut, so it allows you to adjust her leg more towards the outside than anything. Her leg can be extended at the hip up to 90 degrees, and you can bend her at the knee 90 degrees. So all in all, still good articulation on this figure. Just keeping her balanced is the chore. Okay, to transform Road Rocket, it's a bit of a chore, but it is doable. The first thing we're going to do is we come here to her arms. You're going to slide down the arm covers so that they slightly cover her fists. We're going to come around back here to her backside. We're going to fold up the motorcycle piece. While we're at it, rotate the handlebars so that they go and fold down over her head. And we'll come down here and we're going to turn her at her hip all the way around. Stretch her arms out to the side. Rotate them at the bicep so that way you got the colored piece on top. And then fold them down at the shoulder so they should go down beyond her hip. We'll go ahead and connect them so that they won't get in our way. And then next, we're going to adjust the hip piece. As we fold it up, it just popped off. Excuse me. Alright, got the hip reattached. I didn't realize it popped off that easily. And we're going to spread our legs out a bit and rotate them at the thigh. So that we got them in sort of a position like this. Come down here to her feet and fold her feet down onto the heel. And then we're going to pop her knees free and rotate the section all the way until it won't. Because basically her heels should connect inwards. And then we'll take and fold them down so that it comes, hold the thigh in like that and bend it at the knee so that it goes underneath. And then fold out the wheels and line up their posts and holes so that you can get the wheels to connect together to form one wheel. There we go, should snap into place. And of course we can take the front wheel, fold it down and do the same thing with it so that it forms one wheel. It's not often easy to do since it's done in a triangle configuration. Then we just plug that in like so. Since the front thing popped off, we'll reattach it now. And then you can just fold this section, fold the fairing over, and try to line it up with the slot on her legs. And it will help hold the motorcycle together. There we go. And of course, we can also fold down the kickstand to keep her standing. And there we go. We have Road Rocket in her alternate mode of a 90s style motorcycle. Of course, you can also take the blade that she comes with, have it separated into the two pieces, and then it can be easily attached right here at the backside. Going with a comparative look of Arcee as well. So now we get to my thoughts. I think Road Rocket is a rather underappreciated character. It's certainly a forgotten one from the 90s, but then again, in the 90s, ninjas were king back then. All you need to do is also look at Hasbro's competing boys line of G.I. Joe and see how many ninjas were going through that around that time as well. And you will see that ninjas were a big thing. But of course, we also have to thank mutated turtles for that craze. In addition to, later on, the Power Rangers. But it seems that as time has moved on, it's moved on without Road Rocket. And it's probably a good idea that for the Velocitron 500, they decided to bring back this forgotten character. Now, whether you like the change of the fact that it went from male to female, that's up to you, and I'm not going to argue it. As I really didn't get to see any G2 media, since the cartoon was basically just rehashed G1 cartoons. They didn't really do a different thing for the G2 line to introduce the new characters. Except for maybe comics, and there weren't a whole lot of comic stores in the area I lived in at the time. So I never knew about this character. And in ways, I'm glad that they brought the character back, so now I can present it to you. How this compares to the original toy? Well, again, I didn't have it. Because at the time it was released, I was in junior high school age. You didn't buy toys then. So, I can't compare it, but I will say that it is an okay toy. Unfortunately, it shares the same flaws as the Prime Universe Arcee toy does in the Legacy line, in the fact that certain pieces do pop off very easily. But if you can overlook that, then this is a fine toy and a nice new character to add into your lineup. At any rate, that's my look at the Velocitron version of Road Rocket. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please do remember that if you like the content that we feature on this channel, please do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.